Welcome everybody to the Wwe Reaction WWE Elimination Chamber 2019. And overall, I must say this was a pretty good pay-per-view. According to my rating, we have four 4-star or plus matches on the show tonight. Hi, boring. How are you doing tonight? we have. Tonight was again a pretty good pay-per-view. It started off with the Cruiserweight title on the kickoff show. Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, they were doing some things that were just incredible. I love the spot where Akira Tozawa was going off the rope, and he was going to do a suicide dive, and Buddy Murphy caught him. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Oh, and that was just incredible. And then they came back to it again later on, where he not only hit it once, but he hit it twice. Just fantastic action from those guys. And it got the crowd hot. It got the crowd ready for what was to come, and it was some good action. Buddy Murphy retains, hit him with Murphy's Law, and that was it. And listen, I think Buddy Murphy has been a great cruiserweight champion, and he's probably going to hold it to WrestleMania. I'm not sure what necessarily they're going to do. I don't know what they can do, really. I mean, other than maybe just do an 8-man ladder match. I guess that's the only thing they can do, and let them beat the hell out of each other with ladders. I guess that's the only thing they can do. But yeah, so that was some good stuff. I had it at 4 4.25 star, and that was a great way to kick off. To kick off the show on the kickoff show. Kick off the kickoff show. But you know what I mean. It was a great way to start the night. And then we started off with the women's tag team titles, and this was pretty good too. I mean, this was really, I thought, and I think one of the things that I found so good about it was they really didn't do a whole lot of crazy spots. There wasn't a lot of crazy spots, a lot of crazy things where they were trying to, like, jump from the pods or anything like that. There wasn't really any of that. Now that did happen. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan did climb to the top of one pod and jumped off onto everybody. But otherwise, this was I thought, again, very good. This easily could have been very messy with having 8 women. Was it? Yeah, having 8 women. No, actually, having 12 women. You're having 12 women in this structure, and it got to the point where they did have like everybody in there other than Tamina and Nia Jax. But once the Iconics beat Fabulous Glow, Carmella and Naomi. By the way, the irony of this, that Carmella was partnered with Naomi, whose storyline is that Mandy Rose was trying to sleep with her husband when allegedly Carmella may have been sleeping with Corey Graves, a married man. Anyway, once the Iconics beat them with a beautiful double team maneuver, the people came in, and they Nia Jax and Tamina came in, and they put in some work, and they eliminated the Riot Squad and the Iconics, I believe, right? I believe they eliminated both of those, and then it was down to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Bayley and Sasha, and then those two, and then they kind of they took out Nia Jax, as Nia Jax took herself out running into the pod, and then the two teams ganged up on Tamina took her out. They were eliminated. And then the two teams that started were back in, Bayley and Sasha. And it was just, it was incredible. And we had some fantastic storytelling there. This time, we had been seeing from the past. And Isaiah, Daniel Bryan won for the guys. Daniel Bryan he won for the guys. But we were seeing great action, and we had been seeing on Raw Sasha Banks getting taken out, the last 2 weeks by injury, and then we saw it tonight where it was Bayley who got taken out by injury, and Sasha on her own took out Mandy Rose, and then in a great continuity of good stuff, she went ahead, and then the shoulder was injured. She couldn't use her arm that was injured, so she used her foot to lock in the bank statement. Sonya Deville tapped, and we have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Unbelievable! This match, it was absolutely, it was so good. Yeah, and there seemingly was there was no like botches or anything like that. That was good. There might have been one thing where and here's the thing. I don't want to get into this a lot, but really, some people talk about Nia Jax and how Nia Jax isn't all of that. She may be careless or anything like that. There was at one point when I thought that maybe she was kind of careless. And she didn't take, she's supposed to take care of each other in there. But on the other hand, she's bigger and stronger than everybody else, so she should throw them around like rag dolls. So, but that's neither here nor there. And we'll get to a little bit of some of that later on in the night. But yeah, Women's Tag Team Champions. I actually kind of think I don't think it was a scripted moment. I think it was kind of a shoot where for a while there, Bayley and Sasha were both speechless in the ring. Charlie Caruso was in there, wanted to talk to him, and they were maybe speechless, maybe because they were speechless because of what happened, maybe speechless because the crowd was chanting "You deserved it," and so who knows what really happened, but. But it was a nice tender moment. Even Cody Graves was saying, "I'm not crying. You cry. You cry. I'm not crying." And you could hear the emotion in Beth Phoenix, who was at ringside. You could hear the emotion in her voice at the end. She, this is something that you never really saw because you never would have thought would have happened because the WWE had for the longest time made their women's or the women's division seem more like an afterthought. Seem more like an afterthought, and that one match, what, 5 years ago, or it was around this time, right? It was 4 or 5 years ago. Paige and Emma versus the Bella Twins. 30 seconds, the Bella Twins win. And Give Divas a Chance starts trending. And it starts trending, I think it was trending for 2 or 3 days after that, right? And even Vince McMahon had to acknowledge it, whether he did it himself or he had his personal person did it. He had to acknowledge it. And he says, "We hear you. Keep watching. Hashtag Give Divas a Chance." And now look where the women's division is at. We've got great talent. Some of the best talent that there's probably ever been in WWE. We have a women's division down in NXT, a women's division in the NXT UK brand. We have a SmackDown and Raw women's division. We have a Raw Women's Champion, a SmackDown Women's Champion, and now we have a WWE Tag Team Champions. We've had the first all-female women's pay-per-view this past October. And just think about that. It just wasn't nothing but 5 years ago when they were doing 30-second spots on television. And now there's a very good chance that the last match at WrestleMania 35, the closer, is going to be a women's match between Ronda and Charlotte and Becky. Or Ronda and Becky, however they do about it. I do think they're going down the triple threat match way. So it's incredible, and you just congratulations to all of those ladies who worked hard for that to happen. And I'm sure that they had to do a lot of convincing Vince and Kevin Dunn and maybe a few others who really they probably, in all seriousness, they probably would rather, they probably would rather it be still the thing where they were, finding models in lingerie catalogs and training them to wrestle, instead of getting actual wrestlers, So, yeah, it is some incredible to see. So, congratulations to those girls. Congratulations to the whole women's division. This match was great, and can't wait to see where they go from here now. So next we go from the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and we have The Miz and Shane versus the Usos. And you had to wonder, after coming down, after having that match, what was the crowd, was this going to be the death spot? But it actually wasn't, because and I think they may have known this. They may have known that this might be a death spot, so they tried to do something. They brought the Miz out, and then they brought Maurice out, announced that they're having their second child. Congratulations, Miz and Maurice, you're having a second child. That is so wonderful, for you guys. That got the crowd kind of into it. They started chanting, "You still got it" to Miz, and of course, yeah, I know I still got it. And then they brought out Shane McMahon, and then the Usos came out, and so the crowd was kind of back into this, kind of more into the Usos and Shane and the Miz. But this again was, I thought they went out there and did a great job. It was probably better than it should have been, with Shane McMahon and everything like that. And again, I thought this was good. Another great story told. Love the finish, and we have new tag team champions, the Usos, 6-time tag team champions in WWE. And listen, this is what it should be. I think the Royal Rumble was nice. I think it was good. I think it got over what it was supposed to get over, and that was that it got the Miz to be cheered and to be seen as a face, and I think that's good. And another thing I think they've done, that they haven't changed Miz's character. He is still the same guy that he was when he was a heel, except now he's just not doing the crowd thing where he's bitching at the crowd. He's not. So that's good. Later on in the he was saying, "I'm sorry," because he's the one he took the pinfall. He was telling Shane, "I'm sorry," and him and Shane walked to the back, and later on they showed Shane getting treatment, and he was upset at it. Shane told him to go home. So we'll see where this goes from here. Well, I think they got a good thing going here with the Miz. I especially as a babyface, I don't want to see them try to ruin it by don't see them ruin it by turning him back heel. They don't need to do that. Keep this guy babyface. I think it can work. I do. I think it can work. You can learn from your past mistakes. Turn him babyface, and then but keep him as the same guy. So I think that can work. So yeah, it was I had it at 4 stars. Again, I thought this was great. I really did. I thought this was wonderful from these guys. Next match was the Intercontinental Handicap match between Finn Balor versus Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley, and they did some foreshadowing before the match, where backstage, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush was being interviewed, and Dasha Fuentes was over there, and they were like, Lio Rush, why, aren't you afraid that you could be the weak link and you can get pinned and lose the title for Bobby Lashley? And of course, don't you know it, that happened, and it happened, and he took the fall, and then bam, there you go. New Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor. So, and this can be good, and I hope that Finn Balor will do Intercontinental Championship Open just like Reigns did, just like Rollins did, and just like all the baby faces have done. The baby faces are doing Intercontinental Opens, or in John Cena's case, the U.S. Open Challenge. So I hope Finn Balor continues him. I hope he does the Intercontinental Championship Challenge come tomorrow. I had it at 3 stars. It was what it was. Just average. It was, as someone would say, it was perfectly acceptable wrestling, perfectly acceptable storytelling. So the next match was the Raw Women's title match, when it was Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. And to be honest with you, this match was exactly what it was when it came to build and everything like that. Right? The build was trash, and this was trash. To be very honest with you. We had a couple of things, and there's a part of me that says that showing Ronda Rousey in a way that that makes her the baddest woman on the planet even more than she already is, in one way is good. It's good, but in another way, this was just. It did more harm than good. It really did. Instead of there being a women's championship match, what would have been better, in my opinion, maybe, is to have would have been to have a women's segment. Have come out there. You've been doing it all night. Have Charlie? You actually did it with Charlotte. When Charlotte came out there so that she could sit down and watch the match. You had Charlie Caruso in the ring. You should have Charlie Caruso come out there, talk to Charlotte, and then have Ronda Rousey come down there and talk to her about that. Then you could have had Ruby Riott come out there and then challenge, Ronda for Fastlane, and then you could have had that built so they could have built up to Fastlane, but. That's not what they did, and it's kind of it's one. I had it at 1 star. I don't even know if it really deserves that, because really, of course, the big thing is that once Ronda Rousey, who came out as Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat 11, as she because she's the voice of Sonya Blade in the video game. Once she came out, once she beat Ruby Riott. Charlotte got in the ring and was standing toe to toe and talking to her, and then, of course, here comes Becky Lynch on crutches because apparently last night, Charlotte Flair beat her down with a steel chair. Becky Lynch came out there on crutches and got in the ring and started beating up on Charlotte Flair, and then she looked at her, she threw down one crutch, beat her with it. And then Ronda Rousey picked up the other crutch to defend herself. And she said, no, you can have her. You can have her. I'm through with her. She took my spot. Of course, she lied. And then she started to beat on Ronda Rousey. And here, my friends, is where the hypocrisy will come in. Let's take you back to the Monday Night Raw before Survivor Series. You know, SmackDown invades Raw. The women, SmackDown women invades Raw. Attack the Raw women. Becky Lynch is in there, and of course, and she's a part of it, and she takes on Nia Jax, and Nia Jax gives her a right hand for the ages, right? Right hand for the ages, as you remember, breaks her nose, gives her a concussion, right? And if you may remember, the internet went nuts about this, saying everything about Nia Jax and her family and everything like that. They made humiliating pictures about her weight, making fun of her about her weight. They did all of this, right? And then let's take you back even a little bit longer. Let's take you back in October. Brie Bella returns, right? And she accidentally kicks Liv Morgan in the head, knocking her out, right? Internet went crazy. Brie Bella isn't safe. All of this noise, right? Becky Lynch takes a crutch and cold cocks Ronda Rousey upside her head, making a cut on her forehead. Making a cut on her forehead. I looked on Twitter. I don't know if I don't think I saw one person outraged about that. Not one. Not one person outraged about that. The hypocrisy. This is why I'm really starting to not like Becky Lynch, because people aren't treating her the same as they treat everybody else. Isn't it crazy? She gets cheered when she gets a second chance in the Royal Rumble, but Roman Reigns gets booed. She gets cheered when she cold clocks Ronda Rousey upside the head, but Brie Bella and Nia Jax are unsafe, and they don't get the benefit of the doubt. Come on now. This is total and utter bullshit. It really is. It's total and utter bullshit. It really is. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm really hoping that either Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair beats her in WrestleMania. I'm starting to fall that way. It shouldn't be that way. It really should. Anyway, and then after that, they do that thing where they just kind of ease on into the next match. Almost like a Monday Night Raw, except they didn't take a commercial break. So then they go and Baron Corbin's music hit, and it's time for the no DQ match between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. And this was pretty interesting. And we got to the point to where Braun Strowman set up a table in the corner, power slammed Baron Corbin through the table, and as he was going for the cover, we heard Drew McIntyre's music. And Drew McIntyre is coming down there with a chair, and as he gets to the ring, he stops, and that's the cue for Bobby Lashley to come in and hit Braun with a chair, and they beat him down, and then they do the Shield power bomb through 2 tables. Baron Corbin gets the victory. That's good. That might set that's gonna set a lot of people's asses on fire. It really is. And but it was good. It was entertaining. I thought it was fun, and this is obviously setting up something bigger. I think it has to be. I think it has to be setting up something bigger. And I'm not necessarily sure what it is right now, but I definitely think that we're gonna see some really big blow-off match at WrestleMania between a lot of these folks, and I just don't think it's gonna be like a 6-man tag or anything like that. I think it may be something special. It may be something, maybe like 2 out of 3 falls match, falls count anywhere, something special between like Drew and Braun and Lashley, and Kurt Angle may get into it, and who knows who else, Finn Balor. So it may be going somewhere. So I don't want people to like don't get upset just yet, because I think this may be we may be going somewhere somewhere special with this. At least that's what I'm hoping. And then finally, we had the WWE title Elimination Chamber match. And again, this one was really, really good. I think this one was really, really good. And no, we had the Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan stuff with him, like, you know, chopping him and everything like that. Him, you know, getting chopped by Bryan, absorbing it. It's almost like Black Panther. In the movie, if you haven't seen it, he has this suit where when he gets hit, he can absorb the punishment and then throw it back onto whoever he may want to. And that's all it seemed like was going on with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe would get chopped by Daniel Bryan, take, you know, he would intake it and then deliver it back to him twofold, and then Daniel Bryan would like fall over. And it was really good. Great guys. They started off. Then we had Kofi Kingston came in third off his 1 hour match with on SmackDown. He came in, and the crowd were totally behind him. I mean, you want to talk about like walking into something, something that they may not have known that they wanted. They have not on purpose, but they have by accident created their babyface of the future scene with Kofi Kingston. And Kofi Kingston, he's maybe in his mid to late 30s, maybe even over 40. I'm not sure, but they've got him totally. The crowd was totally behind him throughout this whole match. What's up, Yusuf? How you doing? And so yeah. So then we had AJ Styles eliminated Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan eliminated Jeff Hardy. Randy Orton eliminated AJ Styles. Kofi Kingston eliminated Randy Orton. So we're down to Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. And these two had some great chemistry as well. They did some things. Daniel Bryan hit the running knee. Kofi Kingston kicked out. Kofi Kingston hit him with Trouble in Paradise. Daniel Bryan kicked out. Daniel Bryan locked in Kofi Kingston into the label lock. Kofi Kingston grabbed the rope. And that was kind of interesting because this is like a no DQ match. So he didn't have to, even though Kofi Kingston grabbed the rope, he didn't have to break it because it's no DQ. But he broke it anyway, so whatever. And then they went to a top of a pod, and they were fighting. They were throwing each other up against the glass and everything like that, trying to suplex. And then Kofi kicks Daniel Bryan off the thing, onto the turnbuckle. Then he kicks him off to the turnbuckle. He goes on the ground. Kofi Kingston goes for a splash, misses it. Daniel Bryan hits the running knee for the second time, gets the victory. He retains as the WWE Heavyweight Champion. And let's be honest, it killed the crowd. It killed the crowd. The crowd was wanting Kofi. They wanted to see history. But it just didn't go down tonight for Kofi Kingston. And you know, I'll say this because I know I did a thing called That's a Shoot a couple weeks ago where I said that the WWE should not all the time listen to its fans. It shouldn't, because you know sometimes they're trying to do something. They're trying to tell a bigger story than just what you want, and what you want, you know, it may not be necessarily what you're looking for, but it's gonna tell the bigger story and the bigger picture. And like you know, for instance, like this thing with Charlotte. A lot of people are upset that Charlotte is in the match. They wanted to be one-on-one with Ronda and Becky, but the two things. One, we had heard rumors that this was going to always be Charlotte and Ronda, and so they didn't. So I don't think they just because Becky has caught fire. I don't think they're just going to just now put Charlotte out the pasture. Charlotte probably should be and needs to be in this match. Also, this gives puts a true heel into the match. Ronda Rousey isn't a heel and she's getting booed, and there's no reason for that. She's getting booed just because she's against Becky Lynch. Some people are booing them because they're morons. Let's be honest. Let's be crazy, right? Because this is what they do nowadays. They boo the person that is supposed to be the good guy. That's what they do nowadays. But now having a true heel, that takes some of the heat off of Ronda, and also this probably helps her that now when Becky wins, she'll beat Charlotte Flair, and Ronda's still basically undefeated. Well, she's not undefeated, but you can say this: she would have never have been pinned or never have submitted in a match. Because she lost that tag match to Boston Hug a while back, but Natalya took the fall. So it's a lot of things that they can do. And I think that's what you might see here with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, since Saturday, now has got a lot of momentum, and like I said, they've made Kofi into this almost seemingly white meat baby face from the old school, right? That being said, they may have other plans already set for Daniel Bryan that don't involve Kofi, and that's okay. But what that does is that now that they see that Kofi, if you are behind Kofi, and stay behind Kofi, then maybe somewhere point down the line, Kofi does get his shot. He does get his opportunity at whether it's the WWE Championship or whether it's the Universal Championship. He'll get his time, he'll get his shot, and he'll become the WWE or Universal Champion, one or the other. But I'm just out there just letting everybody know. I know you love Kofi, and I know a lot of y'all may want to see Kofi and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania now, but they may have plans already set that they cannot change. So so don't be upset with it. Just go with the flow. Keep cheering for Kofi. Keep rooting for him, and he will get his shot. They are hearing you. They are hearing you. That's what I was just going over. I'll give you a really quick recap, Dylan. Buddy Murphy retained his Cruiserweight title. Sasha and Bayley won the WWE Tag Team Women's Championships. The Usos won the SmackDown Championship, SmackDown Tag titles. Finn Balor pinned Lio Rush to win the Intercontinental Championship. Ronda Rousey in an unbelievable squash of Ruby Riott won. Let's see. Baron Corbin beat Braun Strowman, and Daniel Bryan won the Elimination Chamber, retained the title. That could be. Maybe you're right. Maybe Kofi will get his championship match at Fastlane. But even then, I still would say that if he doesn't win there, obviously that they have some plans. So, some plans from Daniel Bryan, and that's one thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard anything, but we've always heard rumors about matches at WrestleMania. We heard the Lesnar Rollins rumor. We heard the Ronda Rousey Charlotte rumor. Then when Becky came along, we heard that they were gonna put Becky in it and make it a three-way. We've heard that AJ Styles would be wrestling against Randy Orton. We've heard the Rey Mysterio Andrade Cien Almas rumor for the United States title. So we heard about the Batista rumor, but that's obviously not going to happen now. I think Batista's already said that he's not going to wrestle in the near future. So we've heard these rumors, but there was no rumors out about who Daniel Bryan was going to wrestle. I never heard a rumor about it. I always thought that they were going for that they were heading down the Miz. That's why they turned Miz babyface, because it was going to be Miz, Bryan, and they were going to do it with the reverse thing and see how that would play out, because the other way, they just didn't seem to have good chemistry. So maybe if Daniel Bryan was the heel, maybe it would be a lot better. The matches would be a lot better. Yes. Bryan did retain fairly. The way it ended was they were on Kofi and Bryan were on top of one of the pods. Kofi kicked Bryan to the turnbuckle, then kicked him off the turnbuckle to the mat. Kofi went for a splash. He missed. Bryan hit the running knee, and that was the second time he had hit it, and he got the clean victory, 1, 2, 3, and he walked out. And we had a great spot. Kofi Kingston was injured. I don't know. Are they saying that? I haven't checked Twitter ever since I've got on. I came onto the live stream. If he's injured, then that's unfortunate. I really hope he wasn't. But yeah, but I also love the ending when they had Big E and Xavier came down, picked them up, took them out, and again Houston was really incredible all night. Houston was really incredible all night. They were, again the Raw Women's Championship and the No DQ match, they were kind of not in for. But really, all night they were loud. They were cheering for the good guys, or whoever they wanted to cheer for. It was a pretty good crowd, and they were really hot for Kofi. And they started and at the end they were saying, "Thank you, Kofi." Clap, clippity clap. Thank you, Kofi. Clip, clap, clippity clap. And so I think they were really giving Kofi his due. Hey, no problem, man. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give my thoughts and give you updates on if you missed it or if you just didn't watch it. I know there were some people out there who were just like that. They were like, I'm not going to watch it. I'll watch all of the stuff. I'll read all of the stuff online. I'll watch the thing later if I get it. But I'm just not into this pay-per-view right now. And I can understand it. It was so close to the Royal Rumble that it didn't seem like, and they had focused so much on Ronda and Becky and Charlotte that it seemed like everybody else had been lacking, enough time, to get, to tell a story. This is why I've always thought that they need to cut their pay-per-view schedule down from 12 a month to 12 a year to like 6 to 8 a year. You were watching the All-Star game. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm kind of lucky. I have 3 TVs, and the All-Star game was on one of my TVs, so I was seeing some of that as well. But I was mainly focused on the well, whatever. I can't find my remote. The All-Star game is over, but I was focused on Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I mean, like I said at the beginning, this again I thought was a really, really good night. Now we do have Fastlane coming up next. I'm interested to see how they are doing. I'm almost certain that in a couple weeks when they celebrate Ric Flair's birthday, we're going to see Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to hurt in some form or fashion Ric Flair, and that is going to cause Charlotte Flair to want to wrestle Becky Lynch. And they're probably going to do the stipulation that where if Becky can win, then she gets entered into the match. She gets added to the match. And if Charlotte loses, then they might do something where maybe Becky doesn't get a shot at a title at no point in time. So I'm not sure, but that's what I am expecting. And then we got some other things. And again, just like I said, I kind of think that they do need to at some point cut down their pay-per-view schedule, especially in particular right now, because I just don't know if you really need if you really need to have, 2 pay-per-views, maybe having one in there would be okay. Maybe having one, and one so that you could have enough time to where you can, you can do a good build for that one, and then focus on your build for WrestleMania. But yeah, some things have to change, I think, but they probably won't do it because it makes the money, and right now, so I will say this: that is what I am expecting as the main event for WrestleMania: Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte. I don't know why that. I don't know why you put that there, but thank you. Thank you, Dylan. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other more questions or not about what happened tonight. I think I've gone over everything that went down. Solid pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is gonna be really fun. Like I said, I hope that Finn Balor does the Intercontinental Championship Open, and we'll see where they go to now. So that's going to be it, my friends. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and commenting and watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, you drop a like, and everything like that. I do weekly wrestling show. I call That's a Shoot. It happens mostly on Fridays. This is where I do 2 things. I do a segment called Put Over and Bury, where I put over 3 things that were good in the week in wrestling. I bury 3 bad things in the week in wrestling, and then I usually have a main topic that I talk about for a little bit. So you can make sure you're there for the Fridays, though. You click the notification bell. You never make sure to miss an episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out. The next Rapid Reaction should be Fastlane, unless there's something. Oh, the Oscars. Do I want to talk about the Oscars? We'll see. It might be the Oscars, but for sure it's going to be Fastlane. See you guys then.